Hi everyone, Gordon here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Doing a plug for my new book, Titanic: A Legal Perspective. And the title might be a little misleading because it's not a law book per se, it's only 164 pages. But what I do, I look at the events leading up to the accident. Obviously, when a ship is in an accident, the captain is ultimately responsible. You know, that's the way the law is, and really that's the way it should be. But in this instance, there were other people who contributed to what happened. They contributed to it by not fully doing their job, in my opinion. And I lay out the facts. And basically, I lay out the facts so you can make your own judgment. You may agree with me, you may not. That's okay. We can disagree with it. We can still be friends. Um, Titanic received 8 ice warnings that were taken to the bridge. There was one ice warning that wasn't, from the steamship Masaba. It may not have made any difference because I don't know if Titanic was out to set a record. There was no way that could capture the Blue Dry Band, which was the award for the fastest transatlantic crossing. Uh, there was no way Titanic could beat the Mauritania or Lusitania for speed. Titanic weighed too much. Was too heavy for the to make up that speed difference. Titanic had top speed of about 22 knots, about 25 or so miles an hour. Mauritania's top speed was 26 knots, which would place it close to 30 miles an hour. There was just no way that Titanic could match those speeds. She could have broken the speed record set by her sister, the Olympic. I don't know if they were out to do that or not. Um, and unfortunately, that question went down to the bottom of the sea with Captain Smith. The answer to that question. But getting back to ice warnings. So you've got 8 warnings of ice in the area. There was a warning from the steamship Masaba that actually said more than ice in the area. Given the coordinates that Masaba gave for the ice was directly in the path of the Titanic. But for some reason, that ice warning never made it to the bridge. I'm not saying that Jack Phillips or Harold Bride, the 2 wireless operators, were negligent. I'm not saying they didn't do their job, but something happened. something happened that caused that ice warning to not make it from the wireless room, go forward less than 100 feet, and they're in the bridge. To be able to give that warning to the officer of the watch. And the thing is, we don't know what happened, how history may have been different had the Titanic not sank. Um, it's easy to say that it wouldn't be any different. Well, you had on board John Jacob Astor, former Congressman Strauss, and Benjamin Guggenheim. The three of them were on record as being opposed to the creation of the Federal Reserve. The owner of International Mercantile Marine, which is the company that owned White Star Line, was J.P. Morgan. And Morgan was in favor of the Federal Reserve. I don't believe there was a conspiracy to get rid of Strauss, Astor, and Guggenheim. That would be too much of a stretch of the imagination. You know, there's been a great deal said about the shortage of lifeboats on the Titanic. It took about an hour from the time of the collision until the first lifeboat was launched. An hour, give or take a few minutes either way. Again, based on information that we have. And the 16 lifeboats and 4 collapsible boats, let me rephrase that, 16 lifeboats and 2 of the collapsible boats were successfully launched from the davits of the Titanic. The last 2 collapsible boats literally floated off the ship as she sank. So, had there been enough lifeboats, had there been an extra 20 lifeboats, they wouldn't have been able to launch them. And the ones at the stern, when it went up as it began its final plunge, it went up and then sank. Those that were on the stern, they would have been destroyed. The ones up at the bow, up at the front of the ship, yeah, they could probably float it off. Could probably saved another 400 to 500 people. But it still would have been a disaster either way. Anyhow, this is the book, Titanic, A Legal Perspective. It's available on Amazon and your favorite online booksellers. Paperback is $16.95. I also published this one in hardcover for $21.95. Um, the many people at the Encyclopedia Titanica website uh, said, you know, if it's a good book, we like it in hardcover. So I went ahead and did it in hardcover also, in addition to paperback, just so people have a choice. It's also available as an ebook if you prefer to read your books on some type of device. Personally, I prefer the tactile feel of a real book. Well, that's it for this episode, and I guess I'll go back inside and start working on the next book, which I'm not sure. There's about 2 more books that I can do on Grand Old Lady of the Sea, the Titanic, simply based on the research I did for this book. There was stuff that found out that doesn't apply to this, but it's still interesting about the Titanic. And thinking about a South Carolina travel book. Anyhow, that's it for this go around. Hope everyone has a great day, and see y'all next time.